Hello, everyone, and welcome to our tour information session. This is Antoinette. I am going to um, go over some information regarding the itinerary, registration information, deadlines, etc. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right. So just to introduce ourselves, Um, this is a picture of my partner on location in Accra and a picture of myself at the Ascii Botanical Gardens. But we make up Travel Africa, also Dreamy Tropical Travels for our Caribbean side. But we will be, along with our tour guide Nana, will be hosting the group tour. Okay, so for an overview of the itinerary, our tour will be taking place June 9th through the 16th of 2022. We're going to have more information in terms of the flight schedule closer to the time. A lot of these airlines, they don't post their flight schedules until a year in advance. So right now we don't have that information in terms of exactly when flights leave, when it arrives, what time you'll arrive in Accra. But again, once we get a little bit closer to the time, we will be able to provide that information to you. But anyway, so excited about this tour. It's going to be really great. Angela's excited as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the itinerary. So on day one, we will arrive. From my experience, flights usually arrive in the afternoon around 2 or 3 when you're coming. You're meeting at the hub in DC and you're using South African Airways. That's how we usually travel. But anyway, the flights usually arrive in the afternoon. So once we arrive, we're going to have airport transfer to the hotel. We're going to check into the hotel and just enjoy the amenities at the hotel and just let you unwind. Then we'll have a welcome dinner or lunch. And again, that is going to be dependent upon what time the flight actually arrives and everyone is at the airport and when we can get checked in, etc. But anyway, part of the tour package is going to be having a welcome lunch or dinner. Once we have our welcome lunch or dinner, we're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to pass around t-shirts. T-shirts are included in the tour, so everyone gets their t-shirt. We're going to talk a little bit about the do's and the don'ts, cultural norms, things like that, so you feel a little bit more comfortable on the tour. You kind of have an expectancy of what things are like in the country. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And again, just have a good time, meet each other, unwind from our long flights. The flights are about, goodness, they can range from 15 hours to 22 hours long. So, just unwind, take a break, have some good food, and meet the other members of the tour. So day two is when we actually engage in the Accra City tour. Oh, excuse me. When we arrive, we're going to arrive in Accra, Ghana, at the airport there in Accra. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. But anyway, on day two, we will have the Accra City tour. Accra is the capital of Ghana, and it also is very rich in a lot of the political history, and it's very urban, the urban center of Accra as well. So day two, part of the Accra City tour, we're going to go to the art village for drumming lessons. We're also going to go to the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, Independence Arc, W.E.B. Du Bois Museum, and Jamestown. So for those of you who don't know, Kwame Nkrumah was the first president of Ghana. He was also very instrumental in the independence movement that happened in Africa in general. A lot of the countries were still colonies of Britain or France, and Kwame Nkrumah really kind of led that movement to these countries getting their independence. So there's a memorial park where it goes a little bit into that political movement there, which is really interesting. And uh, and also W.B. Du Bois Center Museum will be going there. And once we go there, you also have an opportunity to see some of the political history behind W.E.B. Du Bois and how he spent a lot of his time there in Accra as well. And then we'll also see Jamestown, which is a very historical site. And it's kind of iconic. It has the big lighthouse, the red and white lighthouse that a lot of people also recognize Ghana for. So we'll also see that on day 2 at the Accra City Tour. Okay, so now we move on to days 3 and 4, and that's where we'll see the Kumasi City Tour. So there, excuse me, Kumasi is more of the Ashanti cultural hub. So that's out of the city, and it's where we'll actually kind of get some, we'll see more of the culture. Just so you know, when we are moving about the city to our different sites and moving in between cities as well, we will have a air-conditioned van, so it's very comfortable and everyone will have plenty of room. So anyway, what we'll do on day 3, we'll check out of our hotel in Accra and we'll board on our van or bus rather, to travel to Kumasi. And on our tour, we do have a local tour guide. So he will be accompanying us throughout our entire tour. He's going to be giving us information and a lot of the history as we move about. So he will be there with us, just so you know. So anyway, on day 3, we'll leave for Kumasi. And between days 3 and 4, that's when we'll be able to see the Menhaya Palace. We'll see, we'll have a kente weaving tour. So the traditional fabrics they use, we'll have a tour on actually how they weave the fabrics. We'll also have a naming ceremony. It's optional. If you want to participate, you can, but that is included where we do engage in a traditional naming ceremony. Then we see the Ndinka stamps printing. So part of the culture is to have different symbols stamped on the fabric, and those symbols represent different things in the culture and kind of like morals and things like that, different things that are important to the culture. So we'll see that stamping take place, and we'll also engage in a cocoa tour. So Ghana is well known, in addition to being called the Gold Coast, is well known for its cocoa and its chocolate. Just this year, I believe, is their very first year, they started having a national chocolate week where they promote their chocolate. So we'll actually have a cocoa tour and see how cocoa is grown and how it's processed and all of those things. So that's taking place in Kumasi days 3 through 4. So we move on to day 5. And again, what we'll do is check out of the hotel and we'll load onto the bus and we'll leave for Cape Coast, Ghana. So on our way, we'll stop by the Ascii Sleigh River. This Sleigh River is important because it is the last river where it's the river where the Africans who were taken into slavery took their last bath. So that's when they were washed, and then they were again transported on to the slave dungeons, which is where we'll actually go next and engage in a private slave dungeon tour. Then we'll stop for lunch at a seaside restaurant. And then from there, you'll have independent time where you can explore Cape Coast at your leisure in the evening. Next, for day 6 is when we'll do another slave castle. This is the Mina slave castle, and this slave castle is known for the door of no return. So we'll get to have again a tour of the slave castle. They have a nice gift shop there for souvenirs and things like that to take back home with you. You're able to take plenty of pictures. I know when I went, they actually had a nice area where people came and put up candles and things like that and brought different things in remembrance of the slaves who were taken. So it's also a time to reflect. It's kind of like a somber time, but that's part of the Mina slave castle. It's actually very, very beautiful, a very beautiful tour. And from there, we'll have a beach day. So after the tour, we're going to go to the beach and spend time at the beach. And again, your evening, you'll have it at your leisure to enjoy Cape Coast, Ghana. So day 7, we'll get up. Every day we have breakfast, but after breakfast is when we'll check out of the hotel at Cape Coast and we'll load in the bus and we'll return to Ghana. So from there, we will check into the hotel for our final evening. And then we're going to also do the Accra Botanical Gardens. So this image here is kind of iconic with the trees on either side of you. It's in Accra, Ghana. And it's right outside of Accra, it's not that far. And so a lot of people like to take pictures in this area. And that's where we'll go. And the rest of the day, you can enjoy the amenities at the hotel. You can have a little time to yourself in the city. Our hotel will be very close to the mall. So if you want to, you know, take an Uber to the mall, you can, and just kind of have some time to yourself or with other members of the group, whatever you'd like to do. And then finally, for our very last day, we will have, again, a farewell lunch or dinner. And again, that depends on the schedule of the airlines. We want to make sure that people have enough time to eat and enjoy themselves and check into the get to the airport on time and check their luggage. So that again depends on the flight schedule, which we'll have that this summer because the airlines, they don't post their flights until about a year in advance. But anyway, so we'll have a farewell lunch and dinner. We'll take pictures, we'll hug, we'll talk, you know, kind of, you know, say our goodbyes and everything like that and really just enjoy ourselves. And then we'll return to the airport for departure. So just to recap, every morning breakfast is included. So we'll have breakfast before we start going to any of these sites. And what was I going to say? Oh, also in the after the sites, you also have that time to yourself. So I'm naturally an introvert, so I kind of wanted to keep people like me in mind in the tour. So in addition to doing things as a group, you also have the opportunity to go on your own and explore the city at your leisure. So again, after these sites, we'll do the sightseeing during the day, and then in the evening, in the afternoon, like I said, you'll have time to go to the beach if you want to, if you want to go see a movie, if you want to go to the mall, if you want a night out on the town, you definitely can. If any day you don't want to go on the sites, maybe you had a late night and you want to just sleep in and relax, that is completely fine. We just ask that you let us know, that way we know you're okay. And definitely take the time to yourself. It's your trip, and really want you to be able to have the experience that you want. Additionally, as I mentioned, I'm located in Houston, here in the States, but my partner is in Accra. She's based in Accra. She lives there. And also our tour guide is in Accra. So if you want anything, a special experience, if you want to do some sort of, I don't know, special museum trip or something that's not included, or salsa dancing, whatever, let us know and we can make those connections for you and get you the information you need so you can have the kind of experience you want. So we just wanted to mention that. Okay, so let's talk about inclusions. So what's included? Our hotel accommodations will all be 4-star and based on double occupancy. If you want to room by yourself, we're adding an additional $525 to the total cost of the trip. And that will cover your accommodations for a single occupancy if you want to room alone. But if you want to do the double occupancy, we will match people based on preference. So if you're coming with a friend, you guys can room together, or we'll match it based on gender and age, and we'll match everyone and what, you know, things they have in common. We'll just kind of screen people and see the best match to have. We also have a group, a Facebook group, so you can meet other people who will be going on the trip. And if you meet someone in the group and you guys want to room together, great, and we'll definitely accommodate that. Like I mentioned, daily breakfast, transportation to all sites within the itinerary. So the things that are on the itinerary, we will be board using a bus. It's going to be air conditioned, comfortable, enough space for everyone. Let's see here. Oh, also airport arrival and departure, we'll be providing transportation for that as well. So your airport transfers will be taken care of. Your entrance fees to all the sites in the itinerary will be taken care of. We will give everyone a t-shirt, so you'll have that. I need to add it on here, but you'll have a daily water bottle for water. And you'll also, again, have a welcome meal and a farewell meal where we're going to sit together, eat together, and really enjoy ourselves. The lunches and the things that are not included, well, excuse me, let me clarify. The lunches that are not included, we'll make sure to stop somewhere in the vicinity to where there are restaurants close by. So you don't have to worry about trying to find a restaurant or anything like that. So we'll make sure the restaurants are close by. But for dinner, you guys, we'll have the ability to enjoy dinner at your leisure and pick the places you guys want to go to dinner and enjoy that on your own as well. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the logistics of getting there and what you need. We do have a video on our YouTube channel going over this, so I'm not going to go too far in depth, but I did think it would be helpful just to give you all some information on the requirements. So as far as the passport is required, it needs 6 months validity, so it cannot expire or it cannot expire within 6 months, okay? And it needs at least one blank stamp page for the stamp. Tourist visa. I checked on the Ghana consulate website, and it said that visa applications must be mailed in. I'm here in Houston and they have a location in Houston, so I'm used to going up there physically, but now they said they're not taking any physical applications. You have to apply by sending everything in. So be cognizant of that so that you're not, assuming you can just kind of show up and get it done real quick, that it's going to take time to go through the mail. The visas, they are only valid for 90 days. So we will keep you guys informed on when the best time to go ahead and apply for your visa would be. You don't want to get your visa now because by the time the trip comes, it's already going to be expired. So again, visas are only valid for 90 days. So we'll keep everyone informed on when you should go about getting that visa. Yellow fever vaccine, that's required to get into the country, and that's the only vaccine that's required to get into the country. Malaria, they do recommend taking like malaria tablets, things like that. But again, that's recommendation. If you have any questions about, whether you should take it or not, we do recommend speaking to your healthcare professional. If you want our personal opinions, I took the malaria tablets. It was just like taking a vitamin every day. And I, felt comfortable on the trip and I enjoyed it. So I personally took it, but again, that's a personal decision. If you want to take the anti-malaria tablets, it's completely up to you. As far as currency restrictions, you can only bring a maximum of $10,000 cash in the country. And when you leave, you can only take $10,000 out. So just be aware of that. For you guys, those of you who are big spenders and bringing your cash and trying to make it rain in Ghana, you can only bring $10,000 in cash. However, you can bring, of course, your credit cards and things like that. They do have ATMs readily available, like at the mall. There's ATMs. It's not as frequent as you would see them here in the States, but we do know where they are located. So if you ever need to go to an ATM, we can definitely help you out with that. And that way you can just keep doing your thing and shop as much as you would like. Let's see here. All right. So when it comes to the COVID-19 requirements, you need a negative COVID test to enter the country. the PCR test, and it could not have been taken more than 72 hours prior to departure, okay? If you are age 5 years or older, you must have a temperature screening and another COVID test done at the airport, okay? And there is a fee that must be paid online prior to your departure. You usually get the results in about 30 minutes. If for whatever reason you have a positive test, which we hope that doesn't happen, but if you do, there's a mandatory quarantine, okay? When it comes to our departure, again, that depends on the requirements of the state, the country that you're going to. So for us to be back to the US, and as of now, the US is requiring, again, a negative COVID test as well. So, but we'll dive deeper into those requirements closer to the time of the trip. I am sure those things will change a year from now, so I'm not going to belabor the COVID requirements at this time. Again, things are going to change, I'm sure, especially with this vaccine coming out, and there's probably going to be other requirements we should go over. So I just wanted to give you all an idea of the requirements that are existing at this time. Okay, so finally, the registration details. So on our website, you will find the registration form. It's an electronic website that you fill out, and you'll see link to PayPal where you can pay your deposit. So the deposit is $300 to reserve your spot. We're limiting the trip to 10 people just because we want to keep things, we don't want a big group. We want to keep it a little intimate as possible. So it's limited to 10 people, but your deposit will hold your spot. We ask that your final payment be made by March 9th of 2022. So that's about 90 days before the trip. And that's going to give us the opportunity to pay our tour guide, pay the accommodations. And so he can also pay the accommodations and the transportation, etc. So that's the very latest. Ideally, by January, we'd like everyone to have everything paid in full. But again, we're really trying. So March 9th, that's the best we can do, about 90 days before the trip. But anyway, between that time, you have flexible payment arrangements as you can. Okay, so the total cost of the tour is $2,550, okay? And that's without the international flight. If you want the flight included, that's $3,650. And we are travel agents, so we will be able to help you book your flight from whatever city you're coming from. But if you just want everything included, the flight, we have that option. Or if you want to book your own flight, we have the option without the flight. It's completely up to you, whatever you prefer, whatever your preference is. And on our website, we do have additional terms and conditions, so you can see all the details and policies, cancellation policies, etc. So yes, that is it for our registration details. And we just have a couple pictures here. Mina Castle, this is kind of the view I was talking about as it overlooks the city, very beautiful. And this is the Black Star Square. A lot of people like to take pictures in front of this one as well. It's very iconic. So this is just a couple pictures of some of the sites we'll be seeing, but really we're gonna definitely see a whole lot of sites, have a good time, and really just enjoy ourselves and having an experience being out of the country. A lot of people. It's something that a lot of people don't get to experience. So it's definitely a blessing to be able to go like on an international trip. And we want to make it as memorable as possible for everyone, and so that everyone can really just enjoy themselves. So at this time, if anyone has any questions, they can type it in the chat. Otherwise, let me go back to the slide. Otherwise, we are finished. So I'll just give everyone a minute to type in the chat if they have any questions. Otherwise, thank you for joining us. Please make sure you join our Facebook group so that you can interact with other members, other people that are coming with us who would like to come with us. And we will be regularly posting updates as well on the Facebook group as well. Okay, let's see here. Okay, will there be any 2021 trips? So originally, that's a good question. Originally, we scheduled the tour for this year, but because of COVID, we canceled the group tour. However, as I mentioned, our partner is in Ghana. So if there's someone who wants to take an independent trip or outside of the group, or if they want to have their own group of friends who want to go on a tour, we can definitely arrange a tour for them. So all of these things that we went over, as far as the itinerary, will be included, and we can get your own tour arranged. But as far as a group tour that we'll be hosting and doing as a group, I hope that makes sense. As a group, that won't be happening this year. That'll be happening next year. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have it this year. That was the original plan, but because of COVID, we had to cancel. Okay, great. But if there's any questions about that, you can definitely contact me. And again, we can schedule you your own tour this year with the sites you saw on the itinerary and get you taken care of. All right. I think that's the only question I saw. Thank you so much for joining, and hope to see you in Ghana in 2022. Have a good evening.